My hair is curly. You know what? Since I've been watching YouTube and living in my car, van, or Jeep or whatever freak I'm living in, I'm just. This is a frustrating day today. But ever since I've been living in here, I've been watching van life, and there's only a few left. I don't know what happened or what's going on, and this is the point of why I can't watch people who actually have places to go. People who actually have homes to reside in, and they're just doing this for a hobby. I can't even watch them because the experience is different. when you're living in your car, your van, or whatever you're living in, and you're working, and you honestly don't have a home base, or even if you have a home base, like when I mean a home base, not like you can put your stuff in somewhere and just leave it and come back, or I don't know. If you got a home that you're living in and you can go back to anytime you want, that's like somebody, I've seen people where they homeless for a day so I can see if I can survive it. That's just ridiculous, because the point is homeless people don't have a place to go. You will never understand it. I don't care if you're trying to play up. You want to know what it's like. You'll never know what it's like unless you are actually homeless. You will never understand it. You can live on $100 a day, acting like you're homeless or whatever the things are that you do, trying to get some more reviews. It's ridiculous to me because you don't ever understand it. I am homeless. Well, I have a car, a Jeep, and I don't have a place to actually live in. My nephew has been gracious enough to allow me to be here and plug in, and I consider it a blessing and a favor from Christ, because even with family you need favor. And I just find it, I just can't do it. I can't watch people who actually have a place to go to. Oh, I'm going to go home and do this and do that and unload my car and do this. I have to unload my car on the ground wherever I'm at. There's no place to unload my car. You don't get the real experience as a person trying to actually figure it out unless you're actually watching somebody who's actually living the life and they have no place to go. And they're actually living in their car or in their van. And they're working and living in their Jeep, and they don't have a place to lay their head. I can't watch people who have that, because it's not even the same thing. It's not the same experience. You're not going to get the same. It's just not the same. They're more relaxed because they know they have a place to go to. Somebody that's freaking living in their car and in their Jeep, my biggest fear was, where am I going to park? And because it's not, what are you going to do all day? Hell, you can go hike. You can go to a beach. You can go anywhere you want. It's at night when you have to actually park and there's nowhere to park and you don't know where to go. You get the real feeling of somebody who actually lives in their car and nowhere to go. When this happened to me, I was so terrified. And that was my fear. Of all of it, it wasn't if somebody's going to hurt me. I don't fear stuff like that. It was 100%, where am I going to park at night when it's time for me to park? Where am I going to freaking go? What am I going to do? This was my only fear. It wasn't if somebody's going to hurt me or anything else, anything like that. It was, where am I going to freaking park? Where am I going to park? Where am I going to go? At nighttime when it's time for me to go to sleep. You can sleep in here, but where are you going to park? Where are you not going to get that knock? Where are you not going to get towed? Where are you not going to get arrested? Where are you not? Where are you not? Where are you not? That's the biggest fear. Somebody that has a place to go, has a home, and I'm not knocking because you got a place. I mean, God bless you. I'm glad you got a place. It's not the same though. And I can't watch people. When I hear that they have some place to go, I can't watch them. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Because if you're doing this because you just love doing it, it's not the same as when you're forced out here doing it. I'm on disability. I can't afford rent. It's too freaking high. And living in this Jeep has gave me a place instead of living on the street. So I can't even relate to people who are living on the street because I've never lived on the street. I can't relate to them because I've never been on the street. I'm living in a car. I have a car. I can go where I want. I can move when I want to. They have a limited way to move and live because it's cold, it's rainy, and you don't want to be moving around in that. You want to stay covered up in a tent or wherever. I don't have to do that. I can get in my car. So I can't even relate to somebody who's actually living on the street because I've lived in shelters before with children. But that's another story on its own. But I can't relate to people who live and have a place to actually go and unload their stuff, put it in the house. They don't have to, and I know it immediately if you have a home base. I know it immediately because when you're in your car and you have stuff that I'm looking around as you're talking and I'm like, wait a minute, this stuff that I have in my car is all I have, and I'm downsizing because I have to pick. I have to pick what I want and what I don't want. I have to pick the limited clothes I have to have. I have to pick. I have to choose and pick. I have to choose how much food I have. You can't have this, but you can have this because there's no storage for it. You have limited storage. You don't have nowhere to put it. And I recently put solar on my roof because I can't take this big freaking battery out because it's too heavy. I go to a gym because I have to stay in shape to lift and move stuff. This is the dilemma of living in your car. I have to stay in shape. I can't just be laying in here sleeping and eating and never working out, getting big as hell. I can't do it. You have to stay in shape. People are eating. They don't work out. They're just laying around. You have to stay in shape living in your car because it's just not healthy. I'm 53 years old. I work out. I stretch. I'm confined in a space, cramped up. My muscles are cramped up. And as you get older, it gets worse. So it's a good idea to if you're not going to be an avid hiker, to at least go to the gym 3 times out of the week, at least. You have to stay in shape. You have to lift stuff. You have to get on your Jeep. You got to pick up stuff. You got to move stuff. And that's not the gym helps you stay fit to do these things because as you get older, we all know as you get older, your body starts to, they claim, shrink or whatever. But I lift weights because the things that I have to lift. And now, since I've been lifting weight and working out, this stuff is not nothing. But this battery weighs 80 pounds. My battery bank, my power station, weighs 80 freaking pounds. I can barely move it. Because when you lift from the waist, you don't have the whole body to move your stuff. So you're lifting in a minimum way to lift stuff. So it's heavier. But you have to stay in shape. This is not just you living in your car and camping. I don't do stealth camping. I do only camping like on free camping. I'll find places. If I'm traveling from coast to coast, I do rest stops because you can stay at a rest stop for one night. And if you pull over into a rest stop, you can stay there for one night. They got bathrooms, they got picnic tables, they got everything there. Why wouldn't you? So I see people traveling across. I don't know where I'm going to stay tonight. Go to a freaking rest stop. You can. I traveled from Washington. I've traveled from Georgia to Washington State, and every place I stayed was a rest stop. I stayed in rest stops. Stayed one night and moved on. And when I went through Yellowstone, I got a hotel because I was so freaking tired and wore out. Because I had never done anything like that before. It wore me the freak out. I needed a bath to soak my body because my body was so sore. I was so overtired. And this is the thing when you don't have a place to go. This stuff is tiring. This is not, people are not really sharing, oh, I'm loving the life, I'm living. Yeah, it's beautiful out there, but you get tired. I was so freaking tired. I just needed one day to recoup my body, to just rest, power my power station, just rest, because I traveled so far. I went to Yellowstone and I was upset because they had camping in Yellowstone. I didn't know it, and I could have camped there, but I needed to be at a hotel. I needed it. I needed a shower. And I have a gym membership also. But when you get in certain areas, there's no gyms for miles, and you can't go to a gym unless you're willing to drive an hour out the way. And I'm not. That's a waste of gas. So I got a hotel for one night, and my body needed to rest. I needed to regroup and really just sit back. But most of my camping is at free campsites. I don't pay for campsites because I think it's ridiculous to pay that much money to sleep outside. I don't get that. For me, and it's just my opinion. Everybody thinks different. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. I'm not saying everybody can feel that way or has to. This is how I feel. This is for me. My personal self. I don't like to stealth camp. I've tried it. I cannot sleep. I'm always looking around. I don't know. It's just weird for me to stealth camp. It's weird. I tried to do it at a Love's truck stop. I went right back to the rest stop. I said I got to go find a rest stop. It was just too much. I just couldn't do it. Some people can do it like nobody's business. I'm new at this, and I find it better to do at free campsites. Just pull in a spot, rest, go to sleep. And I like camp spots because you can pull out your stuff, and some places you can't. I mean, in stealth camping, you can't do that. You're stuck in your vehicle. But at campsites, you're not stuck in your vehicle. You need to get out of your vehicle. And that's just some of the things that I can't watch. I mean, that's just my opinion. I can't watch people who have places to live. It would be a whole different thing. If I did a YouTube, it would be a whole different manner of how I would let you know I have a home base. And this is not, but I don't have a home base. This is me. This is it. This is all I have. And it gets frustrating because you have to think about your car breaking down. They don't have to stress over that because they have a home to go to. When you living in your car or your Jeep or your van or whatever it is, you have to worry about that because you have to, I mean, think about it. If it breaks down, you have to figure out where you're going to go. And a hotel, that's money. That costs money. When you're on limited income, that costs money. So you have to upkeep your car. Versus if you have a house to go to, you can get a tow that mug, whatever you do, and you got a place to go live. Versus somebody that's stuck in their car and they don't have that. Then you have to be worried about where you're going to go, where you're going to live, where you're going to stay. You got to go spend money on a hotel when you really can't afford. I get $1,500 a month. My car breaks down. What kind of hotel am I going to find? I have went to holes in the wall because that's all I could afford. If you have a house to live in, you don't understand that. You don't get that. People got all these pop-up tents and all these big batteries and all this stuff that they got because they can afford it. Versus somebody that can't afford all that stuff and they still have to do this. So it's different. The experience will be different. The experience is different. So when you get a view from somebody who actually lives in a house versus somebody who's actually forced into their car, it's different. The view is different. The ideas that come to you, the ingenuity that you have to deal with, the constant thinking you have to deal with. People that have homes don't have to deal with that constant thinking like that. It's different. They do, but they don't. They have something to fall back on versus somebody that does not have anything to fall back on. It's different. The experience will be different. I'm just saying it's different. As you can see, I'm frustrated because I'm dealing with something that if I had a home, I wouldn't be dealing with. This would just be a hobby. I don't think even with a home, if I had one, I would never give this up because I enjoy it. And I know now that I can go visit anywhere in the world that I want to, that's in the U.S., so that's drivable. and I don't have to worry about, am I going to get a hotel? I don't have enough money. I can't. If I know what I know now working, I don't know how it would be. I probably have land. I don't know. I don't know how it would be because I haven't been there. See, I can't give you experiences I don't have. So it's just different. So think about that. Just think. I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm not forcing my opinion on you. I'm not forcing you to think like me. I'm just saying that the experience that other people have that's not forced into their vehicle and they have homes, the experience is different. You're not going to get the same experience. And so when they make it a lamb light, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it out here. It's gorgeous. Yes, it is. But they have a home base to go to. There's two different ways of thinking when you have a permanent sticks and bricks and when you absolutely do not have one and you can't afford one and you can't afford to go save up money to get one and you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're going to do. It's different. It's different. So that's just something to think about.